couple was in a real mess when I first met them. Remember these two?
I get paid on Friday. We're usually broke by Sunday.
We're so bad with our money that the landlord came today looking for the rent and we can only give half. I think together we make roughly about $50,000.
I feel ashamed that I'm 31 years old and I'm in this situation. There's nothing.
Chris refuses to deal with the bills.
I don't even go to the mailbox most of the time. Crystal has a son from a previous marriage.
He tends to visit with us about 6 times, 7 times a year.
We have to use the credit card every visit to fly Jake in from the East Coast.
I would guess that we owe approximately $40,000.
Chris and Crystal don't make a lot of money, and their bad spending habits are threatening their relationship.
We'll start fighting because we'll have run out of money, we'll have bills that we can't pay. What do you want me to do about this?
In order to buy milk, we can't pay a bill. In order to pay that bill, we have to rob another bill. You want me to pay this thing
after we pay this.
And they think they're failing at building a future together.
People get married, have kids, and buy a house and a car. It just doesn't even seem that I'll ever have any of that.
Appearances can be deceiving, and this couple is trying very hard to look like they are better off than they are. Chris and Crystal's spending habits are very self-indulgent. You're spending $1,400 a month on garbage. And in 5 years, you're going to be $80,000 in debt. You have some bad habits. Bad habits like eating out in restaurants. You're going to cook at home. Gotta go make more money. You want a bed for Jake. So your challenge this week is to take that $108.21 and go shopping for a bed for Jake. Don't spend more than the $108.21.
Okay.
Okay.
That is nothing that I wanted or that I would ever ask for him to sleep on. It's just rubbing salt in the wounds and making me feel like more of a failure and more humiliated. You know, I want the best for my son, and had I known what I was going to have to purchase, I would have probably worked some extra shifts and gained the money. But that's not to say it can't happen in the future.
Exactly, and that was exactly the point. If it's not in the budget, you work for it. Ta-da! A big fat check for $5,000.
Wow. Money, 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 money.
Were they able to pay down their debt and stick to a budget? Let's see. Chris and Crystal were one of my very first families. And while they may have struggled with my tough love approach, this couple has come a long way. Their income has gone up. They still have debt to repay, but they're making more money and are committed to living within their means. But it wasn't an easy road for them. So Chris and Crystal, it's been almost 5 years, and just after the show, you guys split up, right? Mm-hmm. What happened there?
Well, the debt did us part.
Yes.
Yes.
We just kind of needed our time to figure things out on our own.
Right.
And when we got back together, things are better than they were before. So.
Yeah.
Actually, we just celebrated our 10-year anniversary, which is very,
That's
very
fabulous.
cool. Yes.
When you got back together again, were there new ground rules?
Absolutely.
Okay, tell me about the new ground rules.
Well, actually, really, I just became more involved in the finances. Like, I'm part of it now, and so she doesn't feel like it's all on her.
I think one of the important lessons that I learned too was I thought I was managing everything, but until we did the show, I didn't have the tools. So
Yes.
I wasn't really managing anything.
Yeah, you have to be aware of like exactly what your expenses are, fixed, and your other expenses.
Yep.
You have to be aware, because that's the biggest problem. I even remember in other episodes with other couples, if you can't pay for it in cash, you can't afford it.
Right.
So,
Right.
How's your son?
My son is fantastic. He just went home, actually. He was here for Christmas.
Now, remember the big fuss over the bed?
Yes.
Where does he sleep when he comes and stays with you now?
Well, we've moved. That
Yes.
was one of the lessons we learned, is that we were really trying to live a life I think that we couldn't afford to. We moved into a smaller 1-bedroom, so we actually just bought a really big comfy couch that the cushions come off and he crashes there. I mean, he's
Perfect.
18. That's
Yeah.
what he likes. By coming back into a small apartment, we have more money. I got to see him more often
you go.
and things like
Exactly.
Yeah, so now you get to have what you want.
that. Exactly.
Because you're prioritizing where you're spending your money. It's not about creating an image and trying to maintain it anymore. Now it's about actually using your money to do what you want to do with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you taught us that. So
Oh,
we're
I'm
very
glad.
thankful for that.
You know what? I'm so happy to see you guys so well balanced. Are you surprised at the impact just that 1 month had in terms of the last 5 years?
Absolutely.
Yes, I mean, I was looking at the $5,000.
I know.
But it went way. The $5,000 was just a drop in the bucket at the time. But it's everything else that's
Yeah.
that's
The skills that we learn
that
from
we've
being on
learned.
the show.
Right. You seem happy, and you seem even closer now than the last time I saw you. So I'm thrilled for you. Have a great life.
Thank you.
Money, 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 money,